doing another Fight of the Night review. This was for the Fight of the Night that took place on the main card of Makhachev vs Moises at the UFC Apex Centre, Florida. And it was the first fight on the main card, I believe, between Gabriel, Benitez and Billy Quarantillo. And yeah, this was what was picked for the night, and I watched it, so now I'm here to tell you what I thought of the fight. So let's not waste any more time, let's just go. The fight starts, and they do start with some really good kicks. There's a good leg kick from Gabriel, there's a good body kick from Billy Quarantillo. Like, his left body kick is really good in this fight. But it doesn't take long for it to get to the ground, because Billy lands a really good counter left, Gabriel lands a really nice uppercut, then he gets hit with a massive right that I think opens the cut on his eye, around his left eye, and he is knocked down, and Billy gets on him and pretty much instantly takes the back, and for almost until the minute mark of round 1, he has the back entirely. He's got the body triangle locked in. He is searching for submission attempt after submission attempt, and mostly the rear naked choke. I think there is a point where Gabriel does sort of get up, and near the end of round 2, Billy does get another takedown, but it's sort of awkward, and I think Gabriel does counter with a guillotine attempt to sort of like ward off the takedown. Billy does roll through to try and grab the leg, then Gabriel counters that by trying to grab a leg of his own, because when you're in that 34 position, that's a very dangerous position to be in. However, yeah, the round is over not long after that, and yeah, round 1 definitely goes to Billy in my opinion. Like, he landed some really big shots, his takedowns were a lot better, he had really good ground control too, and his face was also considerably less busted up than Gabriel's was, so yeah, round 1 definitely in favour of Billy. He just looked a lot better coming out of it. We then get to round 2, and Billy pretty much starts off with a takedown and almost instantly gets it. He's got Gabriel again in sort of like the backman position, and it's sort of Billy's main thing throughout this fight. He's got the body triangle locked in. He's trying to go for a lot of really good submission attempts. Gabriel does eventually manage to escape them, and for the rest of round 2 after that, his takedown defense is mostly pretty good. He gets taken down, I think, one more time after that in round 2, but he does manage to get back up, and every time since then, when Billy tries to go for it, Gabriel counters with a really good guillotine, tries to sit low on it, and tries to push Billy away, which works. And he even gets some really good strikes, and although Billy lands some really good hook combos, especially near the end of round 2 to close it out, it looks really good. Round 2 is a little bit more back and forth, but again, it is mostly Billy. He's keeping the pressure on Gabriel. He does open his face up a bit more, like the left cut in his eye starts to become some swelling, and he starts to get a cut over his right eye as well, and that starts to bleed pretty badly. So his face is all buggered up, but he still survives round 2. And again, like, I'm sorry there's not a lot to talk about this fight, but yeah, Billy takes round 2 as well. His takedowns were a lot better, even though they were getting defended at some point. He still landed a good couple. His strikes were definitely on point, and he landed that kick a bit more, but yeah, round 2 was still pretty heavily in favour of Billy. Like, his takedowns were there for him, his striking was a lot better. Gabriel did stand with him, and he landed some really good shots of his own. When he started finding his rhythm, it was really good, but round 2 is definitely more in favour of Billy. And finally, round 3. Now, I don't know if this particular thing happened in round 2 or 3, I could be misremembering this, but Gabriel actually lands a left hand that knocks Billy down. I thought that was it. I think it might have been round 3, but yeah, I actually thought that was sort of the end of the fight. I thought, like, Gabriel had taken all this damage and he managed to come back, but no, he gets on Billy after knocking him down, starts to open up with some really good strikes. There is a moment in round 2, actually, which I forgot to mention, where Billy lands an accidental groin strike, and while Gabriel is sort of given time to recover, the referee, who was Mark Smith for this fight, brings in a doctor to have a look at the eye, because that was really badly busted up. I can't remember if this was in round 2 or round 3. I'm going with round 2 though, and the doctor still clears Gabriel, and he's still good to fight, so that is indeed what happens. That was definitely in round 2. Yeah, okay, that was in round 2. In round 3 though, Gabriel does drop Billy with a really good left, and as soon as he gets on him, like, Billy is calm and collected, much like Gabriel was, despite being caught in a body triangle for the majority of the first 2 rounds. But yeah, Billy is a lot calmer as well, and he eventually gets Gabriel in a body triangle after a takedown on the feet, I think, at some point. And there is some of the back and forth stuff in round 3 as well. Gabriel is starting to land a few more combos. His uppercut is there from a lot more. He is eventually cracked with a big right from Billy, and Billy sort of gets the mount and he turns that into a body triangle, and is attempting to go for the submission again, but instead settles on striking, like throwing a lot of hooks around to land on the face. And the referee does say he will stop the fight because of how much damage has been done to Gabriel's face by this point. And eventually he does, the fight is stopped, and Billy wins by 3rd round TKO. So, let's try and unpack that. All in all, I think this fight was a slightly better version of Sean O'Malley versus Chris Patino. It wasn't nearly as overtly one-sided, and Gabriel definitely had a lot more hope spots than Chris did. But it was still very much in favour of one guy. It didn't really feel back and forth fight the night, you know? And don't get me wrong, I like a late finish, but I like the late finish better when it feels a bit more earned. Unlike last week, you know, where it was stopped more on the feet and the fans wanted to keep it going. Oh, which reminds me, by the way, of an issue I still have. UFC, even for Fight Night and ESPN events and stuff, have full houses of fans, please. You have no fucking clue how much it takes out my enjoyment when there's not as many fans. Like, yeah, it was a lot easier to enjoy O'Malley versus Martino, even though that was a worse fight than this one. But at least they had a full crowd to get behind it, you know? At least their full crowd was entirely pissed when the referee stopped the fight. You know? It is something that does play a part in my enjoyment of fights, because I love UFC crowds, especially in like certain countries like my own country of England. I love Brazilian crowds. I love Canadian crowds, you know? American crowds are always great too. But yeah, this fight was good. It was better than Martino O'Malley, but it's still not going to be my top 10 of the year. It was a decent late finish. It wasn't super fantastic. It was very much in favour of Billy. It wasn't horribly fought from Gabriel either. He had a better shot at Billy than Martino had over O'Malley, but still, yeah, very much a one-person sort of showing, and it felt like it, but a bit less than last week's one. So, yeah, that's really all left to say about this one. On to the outro now. So that will about do it for this review, if you can even call it that. I will see you all hopefully tonight, because CWL's Endgame is coming, and we had All Due Respect last night, and that was a really good show. And in the co-main event of that big pay-per-view tonight, my wrestler is going to be fighting for a championship. Please come watch. I will please. I'll link in the description below. I hate doing that, by the way. What else is there? Oh, future things after this. Hopefully a stream of PBW vs ABW if I can get the card done. I still haven't done that yet. Hopefully a very brief history of Caravan Palace tomorrow, and maybe the full episode the day after that. I'm not 100% sure, and eventually at some point another Music of the Week episode. So I'll see you all for whatever the hell is next. And as always, well, hopefully tonight for CWL Endgame. It's going to be good. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.